Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ponca City. For those of you who have traveled in from out of town, we are extremely excited and happy to celebrate another great day in Ponca City. I appreciate everyone silencing your phones. I know it might be an important call, but this is an important event. I trust everybody has found their designated area, your designated seating, and we still have chairs available for those of you who are standing if you would like to take a seat. And at this time, I'm going to introduce Jack Damrell. Jack is Secretary Gatz and will be speaking to us also. And see, Jack Damrell, meet and greet the dignitaries. We've got that out of the way. So I think we are ready to have the presentation of colors and the Pledge of Allegiance. This will be by Boy Scout Troop 524 from the First Lutheran Church. You're on, boys. So everybody, please stand.
Color guard attention. Color guard advance. Color guard post the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is Emily here to sing the national anthem? Okay, well, we'll just move on.
2. Color guard retreat. Color guard dismissed. Audience may be seated.
Thank you. Another great job from our Boy Scouts, Troop 524 from the First Lutheran Church here in town. We have several special guests in our audience this evening, this morning, I guess I should say. I do need to announce that the Governor Stitt was not able to make it as we had hoped for. He was on the agenda, was not able to make it. And it's my understanding that Senator Inhofe is not able to be here also, some personal reasons that he's not with us, so we regret missing their presence. But we do have Luke Holland is representing Senator Inhofe. Luke Holland here, if you would stand, please. Where'd he go? There he is. All right, Luke Holland, Senator Inhofe's office. We have Tanner Roberts representing Senator Langford's office over here. And we have a representative, let's see, Ryan Spruill representing Inhofe. There he is. Oh, he's out there, okay. And we also have Trish Ranson, who is an Oklahoma State representative from District 34 down by Stillwater. And Blake Rainey with the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission is in our presence. And I would like to introduce our city commissioners that are here. We have Shasta Scott, Lenita Chapman, Paul Taylor, and Rob Bodick are present. Other guests will be introduced later as we go through the program. So I would like to share a few comments about the Ponca City Airport in the history of the Ponca City Airport. Some of you may or may not know, back in 1920, this airport was a sod grass field. And at that time, can you believe United Airlines made a stop in Ponca City? A little bit of trivia for you. You can take that to the coffee shop. Tell them that United Airlines used to stop in Ponca City. They had a route from Chicago to Dallas, and there were several cities along that route, including Ponca City, that landed here on a grass sod runway. Well, in 1938, they decided to concrete the south part of that runway. That was a good deal, because in 1941 through 1944, the Army Air Force brought the British Flight Training School to Ponca City, and the British pilots learned to fly in Ponca City, Oklahoma. Did you know, I got lots of trivia today. Did you know that Piper Aircraft Company, used to manufacture Piper Cub airports right here in Ponca City? Back in the 40, 39, 38, 40, 41. Piper Cubs were manufactured in Ponca City. But I hope you knew that, but if you didn't, more trivia. Now, over the years, we've had many different airlines provided commercial air service to Ponca City. I won't go through that long list of airlines, but the last commercial airline that we had was the Great Lakes Airline, a little commuter type airline that stopped here on their way to Enid and on. That last flight was in 2006. Today, we have 50 aircraft based at the Ponca City Airport and 3 business jets, including this one behind me. Business jets are a big deal, so they drink a lot of fuel, and we like to sell fuel. And they make a lot of noise, and I like to hear airplanes make noise. Since 2000, Ponca City Airport has received over $26 million in funding support and upgrades to our infrastructure at this airport. That's another big deal, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, thank you, Representative. I started flying on this airport in 1972, and at that time, this airport was not as beautiful and pretty as it is today. Our city manager, and our airport manager, Don Newsom, has over the years upgraded this airport and upgraded this airport and upgraded this airport. And when I say that, I have to include Enrique's Mexican Restaurant. That is a big deal. But Don has done a wonderful job of getting all of the hangars painted. They're all in good condition. The doors open like they're supposed to open. And he has a wonderful crew that keeps it maintained and mowed and just does an awesome job. So our airport, to me, is a state-of-the-art, beautiful airport. After the runway was finished and opened up, I flew over it last week, and I got to tell you, from the air, it is beautiful. That nice new concrete runway, all of the new sod grass, it is beautiful as well from the air and from the ground. This runway project is the largest single phase, one of the largest single phase projects at an Oklahoma general aviation airport. That's another big deal. With the help of the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission, the FAA, the citizens of Ponca City, and you won't believe this, with the help of COVID. Now, I want to share with you, COVID was a bad deal. But because of COVID, we were able to get some CARES money that helped pay for this airport. That's a return on your tax money. An odd way around, but it worked. So we appreciate that. Statistically, we have about 61,500 operations at this airport a year. That's about 168 a day. An operations means an airplane landing and taking off. That's an operation. This is the 9th longest runway in the state. The 9th longest civilian airport in the state. Airports are extremely essential to cities. If we want to recruit business and industry, we've got to have an airport. We want big business in Ponca City. Most big business has a big jet like this back here. And we want to have a state-of-the-art airport so the big business will come in here, open up business, do business in Ponca City. We have state-of-the-art navigation systems. Pilots in inferior weather need specific navigational aids, and we have state-of-the-art navigation aids so that they can get in and out of Ponca City in bad weather. I think at this time I'm going to pass this over to Oklahoma Secretary of Transportation, Tim Gatz, and we'll hear from Tim Gatz a little bit. Tim?
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of Governor Kevin Stitt and the entirety of the Transportation Cabinet, I want to tell you how excited we are to be here this morning for this event. As the Mayor points out, this is a big deal. If you know our governor, you know that he is a pilot himself, and he was really disappointed that he couldn't be here. I have a proclamation to present to the city on his behalf that I'd like to read right now. Citation in recognition of the Ponca City Runway grand opening. Whereas aviation is the second largest industry in Oklahoma, and as such is an integral piece of the state's transportation network and economic ecosystems. And whereas the Ponca City Runway Reconstruction Project was one of the largest single-phase projects at a general aviation airport in Oklahoma, and this project reconstruction will ensure the viability of the runway environment for the next 30-plus years and provide for a great aviation infrastructure asset for the north central Oklahoma area. And whereas the airport currently hosts over 50 based aircraft and serves businesses that include Phillips 66, Community Health Systems, Albertsons, Walmart, Wyatt Construction, A&J Services, among others. And whereas Ponca City's airport generates over $10 million in annual economic activity and supports 61 direct and indirect jobs for the community, supporting the state's mission to ensure a healthy and vibrant aviation and aerospace workforce. And now therefore, pursuant to the motion of Senator Bill Coleman and Representative Ken Luttrell, the Oklahoma State Legislature, acting on behalf of the citizens of Oklahoma, takes great pride in recognizing the grand opening of the Ponca City Runway and directs that this citation be presented. Signed, Governor Kevin Stitt. So congratulations, Ponca City. We could not be prouder of you, and we could not be prouder of this facility. So again, we're happy to be here. I'd like to point out that, and we've got Senator Inhofe, Luke Holland here to represent him. Senator Inhofe and the whole of our congressional delegation supports investment in infrastructure. We are very fortunate that they bring that focus, because an investment in infrastructure, whether that's a new airport runway, whether that's in our highways, roads, and bridges, whether that's in our rail infrastructure, is an investment in our future and an investment in ourselves. So we're, again, proud to recognize this particular project. I'd also recognize Senator Coleman and Representative Luttrell. Projects like this do not happen without their attention and support. And your representative and senator in this region do a tremendous job for you at the State House. They represent this area very, very well. I promise you they've got me on speed dial, and I hear from them regularly. Representative Ranson, it's so good to see you here today, and welcome. And we were visiting just briefly before the event started, talking about, you know, we've got a really phenomenal airport runway facility that's been implemented here. We've got highway work going on right out here on Interstate 35 that's pretty important and pretty critical. We've got a tremendous discussion growing around Amtrak service for northern Oklahoma and into Kansas, planes, trains, and automobiles. And that's what transportation's about, and it takes all modes to make good things happen for the state of Oklahoma. This particular airport project, and I'm going to leave the details of it to Grayson, and certainly the mayor has hit some highlights, but the reality is your feet can leave the ground from Ponca City and touch base in anywhere in this country, and for that matter, in most all of anywhere in the world. That is important to Ponca City's future, and it's important to Oklahoma's future, to have facilities like this that can support that opportunity, because that's what it is. Not just for our citizens, but for businesses that want to come to Oklahoma that are not here now, and to support the businesses that are here now. So again, having a runway of this magnitude and a hangar facility of this type available, you have a bright future ahead of you, Ponca City, and we're glad to be a part of it. So look forward to good things happening in the future. For that matter, think about those opportunities for folks outside of Oklahoma, because they're paying attention. You've got a 7,200-foot runway facility here now that will support most every kind of aircraft. Think about the opportunities that's going to present for the future. And who would want to come to Ponca City? I'm going to tell you, everybody should want to come to Ponca City. And the reason is because you've got the community base here and the support that's in this hangar today. You've got the support of the state of Oklahoma and a growth mindset, and all of those things are really, really important to future generations. I always talk about the Boy Scouts that present the flags for us. The opportunity is to allow those kids to have the chance to grow, the opportunity to stay in Oklahoma and to raise their family in Oklahoma for the future. So again, infrastructure investments are an investment in ourselves. It'll bring folks to Oklahoma. It'll bring folks to the Ponca City Airport. You got Enrique's. I mean, really? You're going to get a lot of traffic into this airport. And again, folks are going to take notice. So thank you so much for the chance to be with you today. Could not be prouder of the city and the community effort that's gone into making this a reality. Thank you for the state support, representatives and Senator Coleman, and most importantly, our congressional delegation, Senator Inhofe in particular, is a believer in infrastructure investment. And lastly, I'll tell you, on behalf of Governor Kevin Stitt, he is an infrastructure governor and certainly a big aviation supporter. So, Mr. Mayor, if you'd come forward, I'd present this proclamation to you. Thank you so very much.
So excited to have Tim Gatz up here from the Department of Transportation. We appreciate him making time to come to Ponca City. His presence, again, shows you how important this project is to the state of Oklahoma and the city of Ponca City. Next, I'd like to introduce our local representative from the House of Representatives of the state of Oklahoma, Ken Luttrell.
Folks, I'll be very brief this morning. I don't want to steal any thunder from the mayor or from Rich on the sayings that they use when they describe Ponca City. But when they ask me at the Capitol, how's Ponca City doing? I tell them Ponca City is on the move. So that's my expression for Ponca City. And Ponca City is on the move in a project like this because of the visionary leadership that your city government shows. Main Street, the Chamber, Ponca City Development Authority, visionary leaders that you all have placed in those positions to lead and guide this community. We don't hear that naysaying like other communities. Oh, we could never get that done. Oh, that's never going to happen. We have a can-do attitude, and that's why Ponca City is on the move. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for coming out for this project today. In closing, I'd be remiss, Mr. Mayor, if I didn't take this opportunity to thank you, Secretary Gatz, on behalf of the mayor and I, for your support, guidance, and direction that you have been giving to the House and Senate Passenger Rail Coalition and Passenger Rail Caucus. We appreciate that. Good things are going to come from that. I look forward to having you up here for another ribbon cutting when passenger rail service is restored and the depot is restored. So thank you all very much today.
Thank you very much, Representative Luttrell. In Senator Inhofe's absence, Luke Holland, his Chief of Staff, is here, all the way from Washington, D.C. So, Luke, if you have a minute, would like for you to speak.
Thank you so much. So, yeah, I do have to spend a fair amount of time in Washington, unfortunately, because any day in Oklahoma is better than a day in Washington, D.C. Believe me when I say that. But I grew up in Bartlesville. In fact, I just drove over from there this morning, and there is no more beautiful stretch of land than in this area of Oklahoma. I think the main reason why Jim wanted me to come in his place today is so I could bring him a to-go plate from Enrique's, because he loves to fly his plane over here and have the fly-ins with you guys, enjoy a meal there. I don't think he's ever made a stop to Ponca City without visiting Enrique's. Common theme here with everybody. But here's what we know. We know that Oklahoma is the best place in the world to live and raise a family, right? It's here, like I did over in Bartlesville. I grew up playing in the yard with my friends, going into the woods, climbing trees. Didn't have to worry about safety. My parents didn't have to worry about what I was taught in school. You know, that's becoming an increasing problem around the country. But here in Oklahoma, we don't have to worry about that. In Ponca City, you don't have to worry about that. And so from our standpoint, and from Jim's standpoint, what we're trying to do is do anything we can to make this the easiest place in the world to do business. And so it's with big projects like this, repaving your runway, that the future of business in Ponca City is able to thrive and grow, and so that Ponca City can continue to be the place that everybody wants to raise their family, to grow up, start a business, and create an empire here locally. So it's our joy to be here to celebrate with you guys. We're constantly going around the state trying to support big infrastructure projects like this. In fact, today we're announcing that Jim is asking for directed funding, $20 million to do a new tower at Tulsa International Airport to support the additional air traffic that we have there. Oklahoma is growing, and as the Secretary mentioned, aviation is the second largest sector in our economy, and it's growing like leaps and bounds, especially with all of the military activity that we have all over the state. So thank you guys so much for being a huge part of that and for being a part of that growth story. It's going to pay off for years and years to come. We're so proud of you. Thank you for letting us come and be a part of it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Luke. You surprised me this morning when you showed up here. I was in his office in Washington, D.C., so I was really surprised to see him in Ponca City. So we're honored to have you here. Okay, next we have our chairman of the board of the Ponca City Area Chamber of Commerce would like to address you, Mr. Garrett Bowers.
Ponca City, I am just so pleased to see this crowd of support out here, and I think that it really speaks for this area. Yes, I get the honor of being placed in the position as chairman this year of the Ponca City Area Chamber of Commerce, only to hope that I can fill the boots that were set right here before me. But I think that this crowd, projects like these, the momentum that Ponca City gains, not just from a local, state, and federal level, just shows right here that this is a micropolitan with a large impact. And it's astounding. I'm very proud to be from here, and this momentum, I'm sure, will just go ahead and carry. Thank you guys very much for being here.
Thank you, Garrett. Words well spoken. Next, I want to introduce, sometimes I think he's my boss, and sometimes he thinks I'm his boss. But we work great together and have for many, many years, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you your city manager, Craig Stevenson.
Trust me, I know who signs the paychecks and who's in charge. So between the mayor and the city commissioners that are here, they're in charge, and you should be pleased to have them in your leadership position. So they do a tremendous job, and they allow the staff to do what we need to do to make it successful for you, the community. I do want to single somebody out because he won't be singled out, but we all know him. He's back there in a Panama hat, but our airport manager, Don Newsom, who makes everything happen out here, and because of him, we have the $26 million of improvements over the last 20 years. So, Don, thank you for your service. Don will fuel your plane, he'll mow the grass. He does it all. So we're very blessed to have Don in our midst and working for us and for the community. One of the things I do want to say is this is a tremendous turnout from the community, and what I want you to understand is your participation and your coming out and supporting what goes on here in this community says a whole lot to Secretary Gatz, to Luke, to Representative Luttrell. So understand that your support makes a huge difference, because when we go talk to them about things we want done here in your community, they go, wait, they do have some weight, because they have a lot of people that are involved in that community. And so because of the things that you guys have done, continued support, and the way the community comes together is what makes these projects work so well, and the support that we get from the state and federal level. So understand that's important, so please continue that support. I will say that this project, though, took a long time because of construction. The funding was simple. It's an $8 million project. It costs your local tax dollars $102. So we'll take a match like that any day, Secretary. Any day. So I don't have anything else to say. Most has been said. Thank you for coming, and enjoy the airport and all the airplanes that we have out here, the fire vehicles and the support systems that we provide. So thank you for coming.
Next, thank you, Craig. Good words. Next, I would like to introduce, and I have the honor of introducing, the Oklahoma Director of the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission, Grayson Arties.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. As you have heard from many of the dignitaries that have spoken this morning, this is an excellent crowd. We have hosted these kinds of events over the last couple of years, and I have to say this is the best crowd we've seen to date. So give yourself a pat on the back for showing up. That shows that you're passionate about your airport, that you're passionate about aviation aerospace, and we have a term for that. My predecessor came up with the term, so we'll give a minute here for the airplane to pass by. If that sound doesn't put chills down your back, I don't know what does. Maybe a jet engine and F-16 flying over. We tried that. We tried to get a little military aircraft, but we couldn't make it happen today. What I will tell you is you are an air evangelist, and we need your help to be in the air evangelism business. You have to preach the good word of aviation aerospace. You have to go spread that throughout the community, spread it throughout the state. We've seen over the last 10, 20, 30 years, Oklahoma knows about oil and gas and energy. They know about agriculture, but they don't necessarily know about aviation aerospace. It's an uphill battle that we climb on a daily basis in this industry of just educating Oklahomans for what this industry means to communities like Ponca City, to the state of Oklahoma, and we need your all's help. You have a great asset right here, $10 million plus of annual economic activity, great businesses, great opportunity that we're standing right here in this hangar. This hangar could be filled with a business this time next year, and I'm hopeful for that. I really am hopeful that entities like Ponca City can recruit and train people that will work in a company that's going to end up being based here. But we need your all's help. We need your all's assistance to be able to do that. Without you all, without the full community's participation in raising up aviation aerospace and supporting this airport, we will not be able to prevail. I will tell you that as the director, we've closed many runways in my day for construction. I don't know that I've gotten any more calls complaining about a runway closure than this one right here, because people could not get to their Mexican food. I am telling you what, my phone was ringing off the hook. And that guy back there that the city manager recognized, Don Newsom, he's one of the best airport managers that we have here in the state of Oklahoma. Longest serving current airport manager right here in the great state of Oklahoma, and somebody you can be very proud of. And I will tell you that, you know, when that runway was closed and the rain was coming in and it was having to be closed longer, he wanted me to be able to control the weather, and I just did not have that power. I wish I did. If I could, we'd have 75-degree weather today, and we wouldn't be sitting in a hangar when it was 90 degrees. But it is a Chamber of Commerce day, and it's a great day to celebrate here at Ponca City. The one thing I want to close with is I see a lot of young people in the crowd. The Boy Scouts, see a lot of kids sitting here in these chairs in front of me. You all are the future. You're the future of the workforce that will be the lifeblood of the aviation aerospace industry. Without workforce, we don't have the industry that we have today. And we need you all to come and be employed in aviation aerospace. And this little statistic is for the parents. The kids might appreciate it too if they understand funding, finances, and money. But the average salary of a direct employee in the aviation aerospace industry, $73,300 a year. That's almost double what the average Oklahoma salary makes. These are good paying jobs, high quality jobs, jobs in communities like Ponca City, all across the state. And we need your help to convince young folks like you see sitting here today or standing around to join aviation aerospace as a career. We have many different opportunities: airport manager, mechanic, pilot, air traffic controller, sheet metal technician, nurse, doctor, accountant, finance individual, HR, you name it, you can come do it in aviation aerospace. And so I beg with you, I plead with you, please get your kids involved in aviation aerospace. You have a great camp right here at the Ponca City Airport every summer that we help fund, that Don puts on, has been putting on for many, many years, decades probably. But please help and get kids excited about aviation aerospace careers, get them interested in joining this wonderful, wonderful workforce, and we hope that this second largest industry will become number one in the years and the decades to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Grayson. Some very good words for us to follow up on, and appreciate that. Before we wrap up here, I want to thank our police department, our fire department that are out here helping us a little bit, and from the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission, the people that actually helped make this happen, because this is not a one-person show. But we had Jack Damerl, who works for both the Aeronautics Commission and the Oklahoma Tourism Authority. You may have seen him on TV from time to time. Candace Simmons, Carolyn Taylor, and Sandra Shelton are all part of the OAC staff. So we appreciate them helping Grayson get this project underway and bring it to a great conclusion here. We want to thank you all for coming. Now, I do want to share something with you. You don't come to this deal for free. I have one ask of you. This great, big, beautiful hangar needs a tenant. We had one here, and they were opening business at almost the same time that COVID hit. So that business was not able to progress and succeed. So now we have an empty hangar. Ponca City Development Authority, which is our economic development wing of the city, is trying to find tenants for this airport, for this hangar. So my ask of you all, you surely know somebody somewhere in all of your acquaintances, businesses, friends, or whatever, you surely know somebody that needs to put a business in this hangar. So tell them about this great, big, beautiful, state-of-the-art hangar in Ponca City looking for a tenant. Fair? Okay. Now, we are getting ready to cut the big ribbon. And I think to do that, Candace is ready with the ribbon. We're going to push this back and push this microphone back and make some room here. So I'll let them...
we want our commissioners to come up.
Commissioners?
We want David Myers and Lee Evans.
David Myers, Lee Evans, join us up here.
And our representative.
And representatives, okay. Anything to say?
Forgot one small thing to recognize. You'll see it my stage left, your stage right. The smallest flying jet out there in the world. The folks in the room, the little kids in the room, this is what you could be flying someday. There's a gentleman, Colonel Lewis, raise your hand right over there. He is a colonel in the Air National Guard, correct? Yeah, Lieutenant Colonel, okay. Try to give him a promotion there. Flies this little jet around, also is a commercial airline pilot. I would encourage all the kids that are here is to go up, take a look at that airplane, visit with him. It's a great story. This is the passion and the items that we hope will inspire our future generations to join aviation aerospace. And this little jet, it is the biggest little thing that we have here today. And please go up, thank him for bringing it in. And he's going to do a little low pass later, I believe, as we conclude this ceremony. So thank you, Colonel Lewis.
If we could have our congressional field representatives all come forward. Don Newsom, our city airport manager, come forward. Chuck Greenwood has Greenwood Aviation. He's the largest employer here on the airport with Greenwood Aviation. I'd like to have you folks all come forward. Now, guys, I'm going to suggest something to you. I know taking pictures, the camera is not this big. So I'm going to suggest that we turn at a 45-degree angle. I call it butts to bellies, okay? Turn at a 45-degree angle and get close like you know each other. And you over here turn at a 45-degree angle and get close, and we can squeeze in and get a lot more people in the picture that way.
Okay, we want her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand Jane Morris is here. Jane, would you come forward? Jane is a retired 747 pilot for many, many, many years. She started flying at OU Westheimer Airport and became a professional pilot and has flown all over the world for many, many, many years, and we are so proud of Jane Morris. Do we want this podium out of the way? Folks, again, I want to thank you all for coming. It's another great day in Ponca City. Now, these hats, there is 100 of these hats. So if anybody would like to have one, Rich has the hats. We give them away until they're gone, but there will be 100 of these souvenir hats. Again, thank you all for coming out. We appreciate your support, and have another great day in Ponca City.